Welcome to the lecture of data science. In this video lecture, we will cover the topics such as machine learning algorithms, framework for data-driven decision making, and analytics for capability building. So let's start with the first topic, that is the machine learning algorithm. In the previous video lectures related to the linear regression, I have told that how the machine learns. As the human is learning from the past experience, in a similar way, the machine is learning from the past data. That's why the name is called as the machine learning algorithm, because the machine learns from the past data, and that model which is prepared by learning from the past data, that model is used to predict the future values. So over here, the machine learning are the part of the artificial intelligence that imitates the human learning process. So in a similar way as the human learns through the multiple experiences to perform a task. Over here, the Carbonell lists the following three dimensions of the machine learning algorithm. The first one is the learning strategies used by the system. The second one is knowledge or the skill required by the system. And the third one is the application domain for which the knowledge is obtained. The first one, learning strategies, means which methods are used by the machine to learn from the past data. Knowledge or the skill acquired means which methods will be used to predict the future values. And third one is the application domain. Suppose you are preparing an application related to the banking and finance, then the human must have the knowledge related to how to calculate the profit and loss and how to calculate the interest rate. Similarly, the machine should have the application domain knowledge. So these are the following three dimensions of the machine learning algorithm. Carbonell classifies learning into two groups, that is the knowledge acquisition, knowledge acquisition as the learning concept in the physics. So once you have learned the concept, then you are done with it. The second one is the skill refinement, which is similar to learning to play a piano or ride a bicycle. Just for an example, you have learned to play a piano. So you know the rules, which keys to press in a piano to generate a music. But as you practice more, your music will be more better and better. So the skill refinement means it requires practice to get the smooth output, whereas in the knowledge acquisition you just require the knowledge, you just have to know what are the rules and you have to just apply the rules. But in the skill refinement, you need the skills, you need the practice to get the smooth output which is better than the previous output. Machine learning algorithms are classified into following four categories. The first one is the supervised learning algorithms. Then comes the unsupervised learning algorithms. Then comes the reinforcement learning algorithms. And then comes the evolutionary learning algorithms. So let's see all these four classification of the machine learning algorithms. We will see all these four turn by turn. So starting with the first one, that is the supervised learning algorithm. So what are the supervised learning algorithm? So we have seen in the linear regression that we have the formula, that is y equals to mx plus c. So in the training data set, we have the value of y, we have the value of x, and we are providing the both values, that is the x and y values to the model, or we can say to the machine. So what is x? It is the input value. What is y? It is the output. So for training a model, we are providing both the values, that is the input value and the output value. So when you are providing both the values, that is the input and the output values to the machine, then the learning process is called as the supervised learning algorithm. So which techniques, which machine learning algorithms are the supervised learning algorithms? So these are the examples, that is the logistic regression, decision tree, linear regression, random forest, and so on. So these are the machine learning algorithms which falls under this classification, that is the supervised learning algorithms. Next comes the unsupervised learning algorithms. So what is the unsupervised learning algorithms? So when we are providing just the value X, that is the input values in the training data, and we are not providing the value Y, so that type of algorithm is called as the unsupervised learning algorithm. So we are just providing the value of X, we are not providing the value of Y in the training model. So which machine learning algorithms are there which falls under the unsupervised learning algorithm? So that is the clustering algorithm. So this is the one type of clustering machine learning algorithm, that is the K-means clustering algorithm. Then next comes the reinforcement learning algorithm. So in many cases, the input variable X and the output variable Y are uncertain. Just for an example, the spelling checking system, which you have seen in your WhatsApp or some other application, just like the Microsoft Word document. So over there, the input X and the output Y both are uncertain. Suppose I am writing the spelling as the hello world in my WhatsApp and I have made a mistake to type that particular word. So it means what I have done the spelling mistake. Then the machine, or we can say the algorithm which works behind the spelling checking system, that which word is the person they trying to write. It means what? Suppose you are writing the word as the hello world and you have made the mistake in the spelling, and instead of world you are writing just the word, that is WORD. Then over here the input is unpredictable. One person is doing the spelling mistake related to L, the character L. Some other is doing the spelling mistake related to some other letters. So the person to person the input varies, and what should be the correct letter, that is the output variable Y that you have to predict. So over here in terms of the spelling checking, or we can say the predictive keyboards, the input is also uncertain and the output is also uncertain. So such type of machine learning algorithm are called as the reinforcement learning algorithms. So the examples are the sequential decision making and the Markov decision process. These are the machine learning algorithms which falls under this classification, that is the reinforcement learning algorithms. Then comes the evolutionary learning algorithms. Evolutionary learning algorithms, it learns from the human or the animal learning process. Just for an example, in our human body we have DNA, we have some genes that we inherit from our parents. So that is the genetically we get some features from our parents. In a similar way, there is one algorithm, machine learning algorithm called as the genetic algorithm, which works similar to the human genetic process. And the second one is the ant colony optimization. Just as the ant, how the insect, that is ant, is working, in a similar way this ant colony optimization machine learning algorithm is working. So evolutionary learning algorithm means it works in a similar way which is related to the human or the animal learning process. Just like the DNA we have in the human, in a similar way, we have one machine learning algorithm which works similar to the DNA. Next comes the next topic is the framework for the data-driven decision making. So the data-driven decision making, the problem solving can be divided into 5 integrated stages. The first one is the problem and the opportunity identification. Next comes the collection of the relevant data. Then comes the data pre-processing. Then comes the analytics model building, and then comes the model deployment. So these 5 stages are very similar to the data science life cycle. Over here the names are different and the topic name is different, but it works similar. It is similar to the data science life cycle, all the stages. So let's start with the first stage, that is the problem or the opportunity identification, the first stage under the framework for the data-driven decision making. So problem or opportunity identification means you have to identify where the problem is. So for that, you have to ask the right questions. So to identify the problem, If you ask the right questions, then you will exactly know that where the problem is. So let's see the diagram of it into the book. So this is how you have to write all the different stages, that is the 5 different stages of the framework for the data driven decision making. I will be providing the scan copy of this book to you. Let's continue with our other stages. So the collection of the relevant data, this is the second stage. So once you have identified the problem, the next stage is to gather the different data set. So once the problem is identified clearly, so you have to gather the relevant data. You may have to use the external data sources to collect the data over here. Then the next stage is the data pre-processing. So if your data contains some missing values, then you have to remove that missing values, or you have to do the data imputation. Data imputation means where the missing value is, just replace that missing value with some numbers. So it means the data imputation. You have to input some data where the blank space are. Then comes the model building. Over here, you have to apply some machine learning algorithm. So over here, you have to identify that which machine learning algorithm is best suited for your problem statement. So to avoid the problem of overfitting, it is important to create the several training and the validation data set. So compulsory in the model building, we have to do the training set and the testing set. So testing set over here, it is called as the validation data set. And overfitting, what is the overfitting problem that we will see in future when we will see the different machine learning algorithms. Next stage is the communication and the deployment of the data analysis. So over here, the primary objective of the analytics is to come up with the actionable items that can be deployed. So your final output should be in such a way that the person who does not know the technique can able to understand that what the output is telling. Just like the recommender engine, so the recommendation system is using the machine learning algorithm, but we don't know that what type of machine learning algorithm is used behind that, but we know that what the recommender engine is telling to us. The recommendation engine is telling to us to buy 2 products at a time for a better discount. So we can easily understand that what the recommender system is telling. So just like that, the final deployment is in such a way that the normal person or the civilians can able to understand. Now the next topic is the analytics capability building. So in this section, we will discuss the 4 different pillars of the building a center of analytics excellence. So the first pillar is the top management support. The second one is the analytics talent. Third one is the information technology. And the fourth one is the innovation. So let's see all these 4 pillars turn by turn. So this is what the house of analytics excellence is. So these are the 4 pillars that we have seen in the previous slide. So these are the 4 pillars which builds the house of analytics excellence. So if you want to achieve the excellence in terms of analytics, then these are the 4 basic pillars. So the first one is the top management support. So the top management support means they are telling that the data-driven decision making may not result in the immediate benefits. So if you are doing the analysis for the first time, then it is not necessary that whatever the result are, it will get benefit to your organization. So over here, if you are doing the analysis and you want to predict some future decisions, then the change in the organizational culture is very important. So it is likely impossible without the support of the top level management. Second pillar is the analytics talent. So over here you have to hire the data scientist which acquires the right knowledge for your organization. So over here, the second important factor in creating a successful analytics is the you have to identify the data scientist. You have to identify the right data scientist for your organization. So for that you have to do the recruitment. So how you will do the recruitment? So you have to do the recruitment from the top universities or from the social media such as the LinkedIn, or you are looking for some evidence or so on. So the second step, that is the second pillar, is to identify the analytics talent. It means you have to identify the right person who can perform the analysis for you. The third pillar is the information technology, that is the IT. So in this, the IT plays a crucial role for the data capturing, for the data storage, for the data transfer, and for the data analysis. So for that, right language should be used. So there are various software tools available for the analysis, just like the R programming, Python, Tableau, SAS, and so on. So you have to use the right language. So if you want to build an application, that is the application at the user ends, end user side, then compulsory you have to use the Python. If you want to just perform the analysis, then you can just use the MATLAB or the R programming language. With the R you can't develop the application, but with the Python you can develop the end user product, that is the end user application. And the last pillar is the innovation. So this is the fourth pillar, that is the innovation. So you have to do something new every time. That is, you have to perform some innovations in your ideas. So all these pillars need to be integrated with the domain knowledge. So it is very compulsory that with these four pillars, the domain knowledge should be integrated with the business. Otherwise, the analytics may end up solving the non-value adding problems. So in this video, what I have told you, so if you want to cross verify, then just answer these questions, that is how the machine learning algorithms are classified. So which are the different classifications? Then comes which are the different pillars for the analytics excellence. Then comes into which 5 integrated stages the framework for the data driven decision making is divided. So this is what is all about. Thank you for watching.